So I've got 3 points. So one is kind of a reflection on yesterday. My biggest take from yesterday was, and it's kind of remained the case. I think I said that most people, even a lot of investors, view Amazon through the lens of Amazon.com, through that retail business, right? It drives most of the revenues, and it's how most people know about the company, right? I think to me, this says a lot about how the lens that Amazon's management views the company is through AWS. And I think that that's largely the case, because there's no doubt that that's the most, in terms of cash flow generation, that's the most important part of the business, right? It generates an enormous amount of the operating cash flows that carry through. So that's important. And I've known a little bit about Andy Jaffe, who's the head of AWS and is going to be the new CEO. But I really spent a little bit of time over the past day or so reading up a little bit more about him. I knew he had been at Amazon since not quite the founding, but very close. He joined the company in 1997, so he's been there a long time. But what I didn't know was I didn't know his education background and his experience. He has an MBA. He came in as, I think, a marketing manager. This is not an engineer. This is not somebody that came through writing code, right? This is somebody that started out with a more business-centric view of Amazon. So I think that also says a lot about his skill set, that this isn't a tech specialist that focuses just on the cloud, right? And enterprise and the potential there. This is somebody that has a business mindset and a business focus. So I think that informs a little bit about how, and all of that says to me is that I think it doesn't change really very much how I view Amazon, especially considering, again, that Bezos is going to remain heavily involved. He's going to be the executive chairman. His hands are going to be all over driving strategy. He owns 60 million shares. And essentially it's a rounding error from all of his wealth is still from Amazon, right? Yeah, he owns Blue Horizon, but he pays the bills or Blue Origin, whatever it's called. He pays the bills there by selling Amazon stock, right? So Amazon is still enormously important to everything that Jeff Bezos wants to do in the world, with the exception of the Post, which supports itself with its own revenues, the Washington Post. But it doesn't really change things a lot for me, but it certainly makes the story a lot more interesting. But it does affect how I think about some of the other things that he's involved in, because he's going to be involved in them more. So it'll be fun to see how this plays out.